Matt Podgorski, M3 Strategies, a research and campaign management firm, released at about a week or two ago, released a new poll showing former President Trump winning in a hypothetical matchup against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And pollster Matt Podgorski, he completed a survey of 440 likely Republican primary voters nationwide on who they would support in the Republican primary for president. And for those of you that don't play inside baseball, 440, that's a pretty good sample size. And it may not seem like a lot, but it actually gives you a really accurate prediction. And I would think, Scott, do you think you probably get the same, whether it's 500 or 700 or 1,000, you're still going to get about a relatively similar sample size, right? Is that your understanding of polls when you ran?
Yeah, if they picked the sample correctly, the size, there has to be some minimum number, and I don't know what that is. A sample of 20 is not going to work, but you get to a point where if your sample is accurate, if it represents, the populace, it doesn't matter if it's 500 or 600 or 700 or more. If it's an accurate sample, it's good to go.
And Scott, I want to get your thoughts on this because this is really important. And drum roll, please. There's no drum roll. That's okay. But the poll found Republican primary voters trust and support President Donald Trump. In fact, in a head-to-head matchup, Trump would receive 55.5% of the vote compared to 41.8% for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis if the 2024 Republican primary were held today. Scott, Donald Trump in a national poll maintains a 14-point lead over Ron DeSantis. Your thoughts on this?
And I have to assume that number is actually, as I understand this poll, it's a very conservative poll, very carefully conducted, right? I have to imagine that number might be higher, but 14 points that's a solid win. That's a solid lead. That's if you think about it, that's what Pritzker won by practically, right? That's a very solid lead. So, and I'm not surprised.
And the poll was conducted nationwide December 27th through December 30th. And Illinois is a little bit more of an anomaly because in Illinois voters, DeSantis had the advantage over Trump. But as I understood it from Matt, that's an anomaly. And at the national level, it's reversed, that Trump has a significant lead. And I talked to Roger Stone, actually. I called Roger about this, and we got this poll to President Trump. But Roger, I thought he would be shocked by this poll when he goes, well, what's the number? And I told him, and it's a 14-point difference, 55-41. And he goes, that's about right. I'm like, what do you mean it's about right? He's like, all of the national polling in a head-to-head primary, he said, President Trump maintains a 12 to 17-point lead over Ron DeSantis. And to anybody, and I know these rhino Republicans here in Illinois, they like to trash President Trump. And I know, Scott, you take heat and I take heat. And it's so offensive when they always tell me, and I know you've heard it too, your guy. Mm-hmm. Your guy dragged us down. Your guy cost us the election.
Sounds like Durkin.
In Illinois, it sounds like Durkin, Democrat Durkin. He's one of them.